Peace of the Saints. We are back another day with a debate. This particular topic is Islam as it relates to the blacks. I'm going to yield the floor for the gentleman to introduce himself, and then we'll lead into the discussion right after we acknowledge the folks who support the work. I yield the floor.
My name is Dauda Dako Kaba. I'm from Sierra Leone, West Africa, but I live in California, the Bay Area. I'm a Muslim. Uh, that's it.
Okay, very good. Let me acknowledge a couple of folks supporting the work, and then we'll go ahead and get into our discussion. May I acknowledge via Super Chat, shout out to Nate the Great. He writes, Peace of the Saints. I hope your HVAC idea is going well. Appreciate that. And may I also acknowledge Chung came in supporting the work. Appreciate you. Shout out to the folks who support the work. And as we go through, if you have any comments, questions, tithes, tuition, you can support excellent content by using the information on the banner or in the description of the video. May I start by yielding the floor to you? And I do want to give you a heads up. At times, I might have to cut you off to acknowledge some of the folks who have questions or comments. So just a heads up on that one. I'll yield the floor to you.
Yeah. Uh, Based on the topic, totally, I agree with most of what you were telling the three guys. That Islam has some tendency to coerce people into Arabization, you know. Um, However, I have some issue with using the word Islam or instead of Muslim, because there is a distinction between Islam and Muslims. Islam being the religion and Muslim being the practitioner. The religion of Islam actually taught anti-racism. So the brother that came here didn't do what they were supposed to do to defend the motion, but because of the reason, I think there are so many racist Muslims, especially Arab Muslims, that Islam has never able to cure the problem. Um, so they came with that attitude and failed to address the issue of racism or Arab supremacy in Islam. So um, that's what I'm here.
Do you yield the floor?
Yep.
Got it. So you make a very common threadbare argument, which is the bizarre suggestion to disconnect Islam and Muslims. It's a really strange thing. Without Muslims, there would be no Islam. And without Islam, there would be no Muslims. So they are necessarily connected. It is in your effort to protect your religion that your EQ shows up to be insufficient. So is it quite a sad thing? That's number one. Number two, you have acknowledged that there are significant levels of racism in the Muslims, but you deny that Islam has anything to do with it. This is particularly curious because I would charge that most Muslims are racist. And so if we're looking at the average Muslim and we find that they are racist, we would have to ask ourselves, well, how powerful and impactful is your God and how transformative is your religion? And if it is neither powerful nor impactful or transformative, then is it real? I yield the floor.
Okay. Um, I was having trouble getting you clear. I don't know if you noticed that the it wasn't clear. It kept like there was a glitch, but I did hear everything that you said, but it was glitching a little bit. Yeah. So here's the thing. Um, Islam is a religion, and Muslims are the practitioners, right? So let's put it this way. Let's say Islam is a school of thought, and the students are Muslims, right? If the school teaches you certain principles and you fail to, to learn from what the school teaches you, and you practice something different from what the school taught you, I'm not going to blame the school. I would blame the student. So that's the whole thing.
Do you yield the floor?
Yep.
If you were talking about a school, perhaps I could have some understanding of that. However, as you are speaking of a religion, now, frankly, I think that your religion is false. But if you're speaking to a religion which has a God which is all powerful and is theoretically a force for good, then we would have to hope that the power of God, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, would have some impact on the adherents. Because if God does not have that significant power, then we could not separate your religion from a philosophy. I do believe that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, may have been a man who may have walked the earth and gave education and tried to reform the Quraysh, for they were in Jahiliyyah, and we cannot say that they're not in it now. But your religion is clearly false. Can we agree that your religion is false and that's why it's not having that power of God over the followers?
So, so is the when you say the religion is false, I'm not here to debate whether the religion is false or not. That's another debate. The reason I'm here, first and foremost, I was here to kind of buttress your point that uh, Muslim has some racist tendency, or Arab supremacy does exist, and the fact that
Are you able to get onto Wi-Fi? It's quite hard to hear
we
you. It's very hard to hear you.
we came in,
We're not able to hear you. Can you get onto
but
Wi-Fi?
the
Can you
fact
pull
that
into a
there is
Starbucks
Arab
or go
supremacy
inside
in Islam.
somewhere? Can
One of
you
the
get
things that
onto
I noticed
Wi-Fi?
from that,
Can you get onto Wi-Fi, sir? Can you get onto Wi-Fi? Can you
can you
pull
hear me?
into a Starbucks? Can you get onto
Can
Burger
you
King Wi-Fi?
can you hear me?
Can you can you get onto Wi-Fi? Can you get onto Wi-Fi?
Can you hear me?
Can you get onto Wi-Fi? I think it's worth noting to everyone that we did schedule this 5 hours out, and apparently the preparation was not there. But again, this is why Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives because Marquettism teaches character, it teaches preparation. I'm not surprised that a religious person is unprepared. Now, the irony is in the Deen of Islam, you're supposed to make salah 5 times a day, which means that you should be a consummate planner. We see he's not planned. This is not surprising whatsoever. And this is the nature of those who follow the religion. It's not transformative. It does not improve them at all. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, perhaps if he walked the earth at that time, him being a flesh and blood leader, he was able to, raise people up. And in the absence of that direct leadership, the people say that they believe in Islam, but they don't. They say that they follow, but they don't. They say that there's an ummah, but there is not. And what's worse is human nature is very predictable. We like to be in groups. And due to the lack of organization of the blacks foolishly go into groups where they are essentially unwelcomed. I yield the floor.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Like
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know
can you get
the
onto
connection here.
Wi-Fi? Can you get onto Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I'm in my car. I'm just using my phone's uh, data. Probably that's why.
Yes, you're stating the obvious. We can observe that. I'm politely
Oh,
requesting that you get onto Wi-Fi.
oh,
Yes, and
I'm
for
far
those
from my
of
place
you
right now.
who,
That's why.
pardon?
No, I'm far from my place.
You can't go to a Starbucks or a Burger King?
Uh, is it gonna be okay? For the noise,
Yeah,
I can do that.
we can hear you right now. So, have you ever considered that, maybe you should seek something that has a stronger impact on you as opposed to this religion that is an Arab religion?
Well, before we talk about me first, let's deal with the let's talk a little bit about the motion, the reason I'm here, right? I'm basically here to concur most of what you said first and foremost because um, I'm a Muslim. I believe in Islam for a certain reason. We're gonna go down to that, but before we go down there, like, I want to just mention why I respect what you did with those three guys. Two of them were Arabs, and one was Pakistanis. But none of them try to accept the fact that Islam or Muslims have some Arab tendency, tendency to use Arabic supremacy. One of the things that they fail to do, that as a Muslim, I was surprised, I was appalled because they claim that you can actually pray in any language. That's false.
They were lying. Yes, they were lying.
That's false.
Right.
If they say you can supplicate in any language, that's right. But when you say you can pray in any language, that's false. And there's no reason to lie. You understand?
Whoa, whoa,
So
whoa, whoa, whoa!
that
You said there's no reason to lie. They had every reason. The reason that they have to lie is because they have to protect Arab supremacy. That's why they
that's the
lie.
point. That's
Because
but that's why
using
they
the
lie.
truth, they can't win. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So right there they lost the debate because you just finished them right away from that point on. And you ask the guy that is Arab in Africa.
We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. If it goes on as this, I'll have to end the
You know,
call because we can't hear you.
I'm Madingo Islam. Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So we are among the one of the first Africans to accept Islam. Uh, the Madingos. We One of the dynasty that we had before Islam was the Ghana Empire. Even the first Mali Empire were not Muslims. But because our value does not, you know, our value and the Islamic values are kind of similar in terms of humanity. How Fugankuruka charter that Sunjata Keita wrote is similar to the Islamic, you know, um, value of equality. That's what Islam teaches, equality. If you,
I would
I know,
challenge that's not true. I would have to challenge you on
well,
both of those points. You're
let me,
making two distinct
let me finish.
points.
Let me finish that point a little bit. I know you know about Islam a little bit. If you have heard about the last sermon the Prophet gave before he passed away, right? The last sermon.
What does it matter?
What does it matter?
Yeah, what
It's
does
a
it matter?
declaration
Look at
to make sure the practitioner know that this is what the religion is about. It's just like the Constitution of the United States. Does it matter?
no, no, it does not matter. Neither
It
does
doesn't
what
matter.
the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said in his last lecture. That doesn't matter either. Neither of them matter. I'll tell you what does matter. Tell me
Uh-huh.
if you know this surah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا. You know this one, right? Yeah,
أعبد ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما
exactly.
عبدتم
Now,
وأنتم
if you would be
عابدون ما
so
أعبد.
kind, would you summarize what that means for the audience, please?
Well, before I summarize what it means, Do you actually know when that surah came?
Sir, if you would be kind
Yeah.
enough to summarize it. Your audio's not very good, so if you'd be kind enough to summarize it.
Well, it's telling the non-believers that I worship not what you worship, and you don't worship what I worship. So onto your religion and onto my religion.
Yes, we do not worship the same things. I'm a
Hmm.
Muslim. You are
Hmm.
kufar. You don't have to
Hmm.
be a Muslim. I don't have to be a kufar. There's no compulsion in religion. Is that correct?
But now,
A simple
now
a
you
simple
want to
yes or
know?
no will do. One moment, a simple yes or no will do. Is
Okay.
that correct? Is that a correct interpretation?
Yeah. Yep.
Excellent. Now, you said you're from Sierra Leone, correct?
Yep.
Aha. Sierra Leone today is about maybe 76% Sunni Muslim, about 22% Christian. The remaining bit, perhaps they still practice some of the indigenous religions. When Islam
Hmm.
came to Sierra Leone, it came because of trade and also because of murder. You see, in fact, the people of modern day Sierra Leone, many of them were forced into Islam, and it's documented. And I'd be more than happy to go
Where?
through the history.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
are you denying it?
yeah.
Oh, you are denying it. You said, yeah, that's interesting. You know, that's a
Yeah.
pity. I always tell people to at least know their own history. You know, it's one thing
Okay.
if you don't
I
know
do know
my
my history,
history.
but I want to know that history. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's fascinating. Huh. Okay.
Hmm.
Do you mind if I take out a little bit of time to explain it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, 19th to 11th century, Islam came to the wider region. Go to 1725, the Futa Jalon Jihad, the most violent catalyst for spreading Islam into Sierra Leone. The Futa Jalon Jihad was led by Fulani Muslim clerics. It was a holy war to overthrow local rulers and establish Islamic theocracy. It was a military campaign that spilled directly into northern Sierra Leone, forcing local populations to convert, to flee, or to face violence. And that's not all. We can go on endlessly. We could also go to the holy wars of the 1800s. You said you were Mandingo, is that correct?
Yep.
Great. Mandingo traders and warriors used military force to secure trade routes and convert local chiefs to Islam. Did they do it by force? You better believe it. You also have the Sofa Wars later in the the 19th centuries. You had Samori Torre Sofa. His army was an Islamic expansionist empire. They conducted brutal raids in northern and eastern Sierra Leone, destroying villages and forcing Africans into Islam. I could go on further, but I won't. The point is that you should, at the very least, know your own history and know that
Well,
Islam
I
was
know.
spread to your ancestors by violence.
I fine. Let me tell you now. I know the history, and I know the history of Luther Jallo. I know the history of Samuel Toure.
But you
The
said that it
history
was
that
not
you're,
spread by violence,
no, no,
and it was.
the history that you're reading is probably the Western narrative of our history.
Oh, they're making that up.
Oh yeah.
They're lying. Okay, fascinating. Let me ask you something else. Were the Muslims in what today is called Sierra Leone,
You
when they
don't
would have all of these wars,
believe that
did they? You can't talk while I'm talking. You can't talk while I'm talking. You must take turns. That's how that works. Dialogue. Two different persons speaking. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm just going to finish what I was saying. So is it not true that the Muslims in the land today that is called Sierra Leone, when they would do all of these raids and have war against the kuffar, they would take prisoners of war and then they would sell them for guns and goods to the Christian Europeans to go into the transatlantic slave trade? Is that not true?
that's not true.
You said that's not true? So you deny all of history then?
In fact, the
You
Muslim in Sierra Leone,
extraordinary. Extraordinary. So, you know, it's quite hard to debate with someone if they deny all of
the
human
the, men-
history,
the
and even harder when they don't have a proper internet connection. He's had about 6.5 hours of lead time, ladies and
discriminate.
saints. I can't hear him very well. I think we're going to have to wrap this up. Shout out to Zamir and Dakarion supporting the work using the Stripe link. We appreciate you. May I also acknowledge via Venmo. Shout out to Christopher. He writes, peace to the Saints
Can you
paying
hear me?
tuition. Thank you for the content and knowledge you share. We're going to have to wrap this up because your audio is so very bad. Shout out to Wayne, writes, peace to the Saints tuition. May I also acknowledge Anthony, writes, the reason I'm here, it's always a learning
Can you hear me?
opportunity. Oh, absolutely. Yes, but we can't hear you consistently is the problem. We can hear you every now and then. Shout out to Truth J, writes, peace to the Saints. I like the outfit today. God bless you. And I like the current conversation being discussed. This is interesting stuff. Oh, indeed it is. And shout out to Project Monger. I believe he supported yesterday as well. Ladies and Saints, the audio is too bad. I did give him 6.5 hours. He had every opportunity to be somewhere appropriate, but this is what we get. I tried. Until next time, peace to the Saints.